So, if I were to talk about this stuff like 20 years ago, I wouldn't be able to make this video. I wouldn't even had a modicum of where to put the video online, where it would have been accepted maybe 20 years ago. And I definitely would have then had the authorities swoop down on me or whatever. And even in this day and age, I'm still taking a risk putting these videos up of suffering discrimination, suffering some Republican jerkwad telling me, oh, this and that and the other thing in some comment. And really, I don't care at this point. I know what I know. I know what I've experienced, and I'm sharing it. And anybody else who wants to watch and see and understand, more than welcome to. So, let's see. I was dropping acid and taking mushrooms in the 80s. And by 1992, let's see, I went to my last... I stopped going to see the Grateful Dead in 1988. It was like my last couple Dead shows until 1995, 96. And, but I stopped dropping acid and eating mushrooms pretty much altogether, except for one time in 1992 in Portland, Oregon. And it was not a very good experience. I was not happy with it. I don't know if it was really even LSD or partly LSD or whatever. And that's what I want to get to in the beginning of this video is, if you're going to do any of these things, please make sure that you're getting what you're looking for. There's going to be plenty of people who are going to try and sell you something that isn't what they say it is, especially if it's LSD. Or they're going to try and sell you mushrooms that maybe you don't want to eat. Maybe they weren't grown the right way. There's so many different factors that come into play. Okay? So just my advice is be careful. Make sure you get helped by somebody who you know, or you're verifiable or something. You know, it's so hard out there in today's world to find something that's quality. But after years of not using hallucinogens at all, okay, I went from 1992 to 2007 with no hallucinogens at all. It was in 2007 that I had a power moment in Mexico, and I ate a couple grams of mushrooms before I crossed the border into Guatemala. And that border crossing, that's quite an experience that I'll have to talk about in another video maybe. Maybe if somebody asks me to. Because I crossed into Guatemala without a visa and left Mexico without a visa correctly stamped, and entered Guatemala without anything correctly stamped, and nobody gave a crap because everybody loved me. Because I was really high on mushrooms. And somehow I convinced all the people at the border that they didn't need me to follow their rules. It was a pretty liberating moment to realize that I did not need to follow any government's rules in order to cross any borders. Think about that. Why me? So, at one point back in the 80s, I remember I had a DMT experience at a Dead concert, but I can't really say what that experience was because I was probably so high on other things I don't even remember what the effect could have been or would have been, or what different visions I might have had. And so it wasn't until 2008 that I had another experience, and it was very profound. It was extremely profound. It was the kind of experience that I can say it changed me again. It changed me for the rest of my life again, you could say. Even more up. And it made me come to some greater realizations that I had needed to come to for a long time. And it only reinforced for me how right I am and how right I have been to live my life the way I want to live it, and not let anybody tell me otherwise. Not let anybody infect me with their preconceived ideas and their false expectations and these notions of what they think is right and wrong for me in this life. I don't have a keeper. And my brothers are not my keepers. and my parents weren't either. And now I can say that I'm completely free, like as an individual. I am like, I feel like I am that universal soul. I live in an undifferentiated state, and I interact with everybody on a level that they really need it, because I perceive who they are. I can see their thoughts almost. I can see their past almost. I can see so many things about them as an integrative whole that before they even start talking, before I've even actually formally met a person, I can almost tell you what their life experience has been. I don't know how to explain it, really. Let's do that. Let's explain it this way. Everything you see in this world, you've been told what it is by somebody. Somebody took the time, hopefully, to tell you that there's a tree out there, that there's a bird out there, there's a rooster, there's a hen, there's all these things. And each of these things has a name. Okay? But nobody told you what to expect on a DMT trip or an ayahuasca trip. Nobody prepared you for what you were going to see on those trips. Nobody told you what that even was. Nobody even gave you a word or a name associated with what it is you might see on the other side when you go there. So when you come back, you go, whoa, I just saw something I can't explain. And it's true, you can't explain it because there aren't words. You were never taught the words by somebody else to say, oh yeah, that's that experience, and this is what it's like, da-da-da-da-da, and here's the words for it. So most people come back from an ayahuasca trip or a DMT trip, and they go, oh, whoa, man, my mind is blown. I can't explain what just happened to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's true, they can't. They've never been prepared for it. So I can tell you when I went on my first real trip, I was out of my body. I was not here in this reality. I was in another dimension. I'm sure of it. I was somewhere else just as real as here. And it allowed me to, I think at that point, really, whatever problems I had, I resolved them. And I realized that my problems, I don't have any, that the problems that I have are really other people with problems who are trying to hurt me and judge me and limit me and tell me how to live my life and tell me how to interact, and I gotta have a job and I gotta do this and that according to whose view, according to whose values. You know, I don't have a boss. I don't have parents. I don't have anybody who's going to tell me how to live my life. And anybody who would try and come do that to me, even before, it was completely and utterly wrong for them to do that to me. I'll give you an example. Like, I'm multilingual. So I'd already experienced many experiences in life. I'd already had so much experience in life. Forget about hallucinogenics. Add that as like the icing on the cake. Why would I accept that somebody else tell me how to live my life if they can't even speak English, let alone 2 languages? Why would I let an alcoholic tell me how to live my life? Why would I let a pedophile tell me how to live my life? Why would I let a pathological liar tell me how to live my life? When I've risen above and I've reached this other height, so high up, I don't need somebody else way down low here to try and limit me and tell me what's up. You see? But the fact that they are not open enough to let me into their lives to show them something new tells me everything I need to know. So in life I go through it and I say, okay, these people I can help and these people I can't help, and I just keep going forward with the experiences that I've had. And God, this has become quite a long series of videos. And in the next video I'm going to talk a little bit more about the healing powers of DMT and ayahuasca.